What's up, Joe here? And my buddy Ethan over here. What's up, Ethan?
What up?
How's it going, man?
Good.
We've already been talking
yes,
for a couple minutes, actually, but
yeah. So I did lie a little bit when you asked if I had like big news I want to share because I wanted to wait till we were recording.
Oh my
It
God!
happened.
Oh, you got engaged! Congratulations, man!
Thank you.
Oh my God, you've been holding on to that for the last 5 minutes under the vest here. Incredible!
Been holding it
Wow, my man's got a poker face. All right, well, congratulations, dude. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Wow, that was exactly what I was thinking. I was like, you got any big news? Anything going on?
Yeah.
Wow, you were holding it close to the vest there. Well, congratulations, dude. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Right on. That's huge. You and Jasmine. So, was it a surprise? How did it happen? Are you able to talk about it a little bit? Can you give some deets?
So she thought she was going on a picnic with all of her girlfriends. What actually happened was I went to this park where we had our third date. It's where we had our first kiss at. And I set up a little picnic for us. And so one of our good friends, like, she got the whole like friend group to have this like fake group text about this fake picnic. Like, she was so like on the hook. She's like telling me, she's like, oh, guess where we're gonna do our girls' day picnic at? It's at that park where we had our third. I was like, oh, they got to take you back there before I did. It was a good time.
So you've been practicing the deception too. The deception runs deep.
Yeah, we all
wow.
We all had to lie for a little bit. So, but yeah, it was really cool. It's very nice park out on the water. Like, there's this spot. It's a huge lake, and there's a spot where like they made the land like cut out into the water. It's like I was out on there, so we're surrounded by water. Cool. It's real cool. So.
Oh wow! And then her friends were there as well, or family, or who else was there, or was it just how did it turn out?
We had some of our friends there. We've had talks in the past about like everything she'd want in like an engagement. So there was a little short list of people she wanted to like be there to witness it. So I had them there for it to see it. So. Yeah.
So you got pictures and stuff. It's recorded somewhere. Good. You're gonna want those later on.
Yeah, one of our friends is a professional photographer, so he was gracious enough to help us out, and he was there with his camera, taking all kinds of pictures. So.
Oh my gosh, so good. Oh, that's so fun, man.
I brought my camera to record it because I knew she'd want like just a video of the whole thing, and I was so nervous I forgot to press record.
That's why you have friends. That's okay.
Tripod. Yeah, he was there for the backup to make sure the moment was still captured. But
you're probably trying to coordinate a million things.
Yeah.
Did you have something like prepared to say, or how did that go down?
No, like I asked her friend, like while we were at the park waiting, it's like, should I like prepare? Her friend just got engaged, so I asked her friend, I was like, do you think I should like prepare something, or should I just like be in the moment? She was like, well, it's like, I can't tell you a single thing Alex said if he said anything. So I think just be in the moment. Whatever will be fine.
Totally.
I was a lot more nervous than I expected. Because like we've already been like, we've known this is coming. We've been planning the wedding. We already put a down payment on a wedding venue. And I was still so nervous.
I get it. It's a big moment.
Yeah.
Oh, so you wanted to go right. It's like, because like she's important to you. Yeah, it's an important moment. That's so fun.
I wanted everything to go right, and like I was so worried about it, like making sure it reflected like the amount of like effort and energy I think she's worth. So.
Oh, that is so nice. Wow. Oh, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
That's so cool. We got a new eBay power couple coming in. Watch out, YouTube. I guess Jasmine's Poshmark, right? Reselling power couple, I should say.
Yeah, she's had those Kaylee Elaine videos on in the background.
Yeah, I like Kaylee Elaine. She's great. She's got that excellent production quality and just like sound advice. Yeah. And like you get a lot of like brands per minute within a Kaylee Elaine video. Like you're gonna get like a lot of information for sure.
Yeah, I was just watching one of her videos about like the as seen on like bolos for Vampire Diaries.
Oh, that's so specific. I did not see that one.
Oh yeah,
No.
and the one I was watching was part 2. She'd already made one about it.
Wow, so good. That's so
Yeah,
niche. That's
yeah.
incredible.
Vampire Diaries is a
Dang.
very like regarded as like a girly show, but I've seen every episode of it. So
Cool.
it
Do
was
they have good?
so
So,
it
I mean,
was
like, it's relevant to you. Like, you know the show apparently.
oh yeah, like I know all the characters she was talking about. It's like she's showing like
Cool.
different scenes where she's wearing different items. So the show
Wow.
was recorded from like I think it's like 2008 through like 2013 or something like that. So it's like it's a super popular show, and it was based like in the Y2K era, which is already like super trendy. So it's just accelerating like things
Oh,
that people were already
gotcha.
looking for.
Yeah, fun. Man, I think that's what makes you so dangerous as a reseller too. Like you've got Jasmine who's like in the
Oh
pulse
yeah.
of like fashion and all this stuff. And then
Oh
you're
yeah.
also in reselling in your own way, but it's just kind of like you're getting a whole bunch from all different sides. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, dude, having Jasmine to just like ask questions is so helpful to me. She knows all like the trendy like whatever's going on. She's very in the know about that.
And Vampire Diaries, we'll have to check that out. I need a new show. The only show I'm really into right now is one on Showtime. I'm catching up on the latest season called Couples Therapy.
Uh-huh.
It's so good, and like it's literally just like snippets of sessions of couples therapy following like the same few couples throughout the
Oh,
season with
it's
the
like a
same
reality show?
therapist. Yeah, it's all real. It's amazing
What?
how honest these people are, how much they share, and really it's just because the therapist is they're in New York City, and the therapist is just so incredible. Like she's
Mm,
so good at listening, but she's also good at interjecting. I feel like when she needs to like make sure that it's productive and uplifting. And I don't know, she's awesome, man. So I really watch it for her. But then you really get involved with the couples, and you're like rooting for them and hoping that they make it. And not
mhm.
all the couples do by the end of the season, but she's really good, and just helps them kind of figure out what they actually want in life, I guess. And
That's cool.
it's so good. It's such a good show, man.
That's an incredible level of vulnerability
Yeah,
to be able to
yeah.
show all that.
I can't. I think they have just the cinematography is beautiful, but there are no cameramen in her office. I think this is just her actual therapy office, and they've just like hidden these cameras, but the quality is just incredible, and they're able to get these close-ups. And I don't know how they do it, but like, yeah, I'm amazed. Like the couples are like, it's already so hard to be vulnerable, and then to know you're being recorded like that. And
Mhm.
yeah, it just seems like the opposite kind of environment. But the therapist is just so good at like bringing it back to what's important and like helping them focus on each other. And yeah, it's so good. Somebody with
That's
just so much
cool.
knowledge like that who can like pick up on those patterns. And dude, I feel like I've learned so much. And there's like
That
all
is
different
such an
kinds of
interesting
couples too.
concept.
Yeah, it's so good. Like you just see yourself in so many different people that often you wouldn't expect to. People of
Yeah.
another gender, or like just in way different socioeconomic situations, and you're like, oh, I'm actually feeling very similar to them in my struggles in life. Like maybe it's not so different, and because
Mm,
you're just seeing these people kind of reliving or even often having some of their worst moments between couples, like when they're really being vulnerable and not often being acknowledged in the way that they want to. And dude,
mm.
it's awesome. I love that show. It's on Showtime.
That
Yeah, just
sounds
yeah, it's awesome.
like really like helpful too. Like that kind of makes me think of like watching Ramit, like watching the way like his
Yeah,
couples like interact with each other. Like it's not only is it like somewhat entertaining, but it also feels like helpful. Like I'm developing like life skills watching it.
yeah,
That
totally.
feels very much the same.
I think it is. I think. Are you hearing that beeping on and off, or is that just in my headphones?
I'm not hearing
Okay, good.
anything.
I think it's just my headphones. Yeah, and like it's similar in a way to Ramit, where she's so good at listening and asking the right questions, but this woman is like a ninja. Like, I think she's been doing therapy for decades, and I'm just watching her, and my mouth is just open because she knows when to speak, because she is there for a reason, to like as a mediator in a way, and there to ask the right questions, but also so much of it is just trying to gain context of often like a decade or more of history of this couple. And so much of it is listening as well, and just like watching her process is just, dude, yeah, I'm in awe. I can't stop talking about it. I wish I knew her name. I don't actually know her actual name, but I've learned so much watching her on the show.
Yeah. Well, me and Jasmine are watching a much less healthy version of that. We're watching Love Island right now.
Yes. Right on. Yeah, Heather and my guilty pleasure has always been Big Brother. Like we'll get really deep. We haven't watched this season in a while, but like that show is just like so full of, it's like the ultimate game of like relational deception in a way, and like social manipulation. Like Big Brother, like the whole game is just messing with people and like in creating in groups and out groups and like creating relationships only to exploit them. Like and like you have to keep it up for like the course of, I don't know, 30 days or 60 days. Like it's such an intense game. It's kind of horrible because and you're also doing it keeping in mind that there's often a vote at the end. So you're trying to do it in a way where you're kicking people off, but not having them be too mad at you. Like there's just so many levels of like understanding this. Like that was actually quite eye-opening for me to understand. Like the reason I had to like that show is because like the social dynamics were just like, especially for me as somebody who's just like a math and sciences kid. Like that's just like not the kind of stuff I was into as a high schooler necessarily, like in my teens. And like I don't know, it was awesome to kind of get introduced to that. Just like there's like many levels.
I'm not familiar with the show. That sounds kind of like the social aspect to Survivor. Like you're trying to like walk the line of like deceiving without leaving them like to scorn.
It's very similar, and like so Heather loves Survivor too, and Big Brother is almost the same as Survivor. We've talked about this, just like minus the physical challenges, like even less reliance on like your endurance. So a lot of Survivor is like being able to endure the harsh conditions of the lack of food or whatever, and then still being able to do these physical challenges where you're running around. Like a lot of getting eliminated depends on that. And then there's the vote at the end. But Big Brother is like all votes and it's all alliances, and the best players have people thinking that they're in a special secret alliance with just you, but like 6 people think that only about you. It's like it's kind of like you're secretly dating people. It's like it's so interesting. It isn't dating, it's just relationships, but it's like really understanding how many levels deep you can get. Like what does trust even mean? It kind of fucked with me. Like the game is like so intense. I don't know.
Gosh, I can't imagine living that deep in a lie for 30 days straight. The amount of mental energy that would take.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it was
healthy. Have you ever played like a game like Mafia or like I think like Werewolf is one?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like a round will go like 20 minutes, and after like minute like 7, I'm like, I'm tired of lying to people.
Yeah. I totally get it. I hate it. Yeah, and often it's like keeping that up for weeks with somebody who's like trusting you and is then crying when they realize that you betrayed them, and actually your alliance with them was only 3rd on your list of actual alliances, and you actually are going to vote the other 2 people higher than you. And it's brutal, man. Yeah, not my style at all. But now I feel like the spiritual successor. Okay, so I don't know. Have you heard of Dropout or Dropout.tv? Dude, it's like pretty much the only subscription that I pay for. I think it's like $10 a month, but they produce the most incredible content. It's just kind of like they do like podcasts and shows and videos, but it's way more than that because like the production quality is insane. And they've like in one of their shows called Game Changers, where the only promise of this game show is that the premise of the show changes every single time. And the players have no idea what the rules are until the game starts developing, and they're like watching the scores line up and trying to figure it out. Like in one of the games, the whole point of the game was to get second. So the only way to win was to be in second place in each of the competitions, but it took them a while to realize what the actual, and then they're all trying to do like the second best Donald Trump impression. And like the game got really meta once they like figured it out. It was like so fascinating. But they've also done reboots of like Survivor and Big Brother kind of style games on their sets of like shorter seasons though, like over the course of a couple of days. And it's so awesome. It's like and it reminds me a lot of Whose Line Is It Anyway? One of the shows that they did on Game Changers, they've spun off into its own show, and I feel like it's really the spiritual successor. I don't know if you ever watched Whose Line Is It Anyway growing up, but they've even had Wayne Brady on as a guest, and like I think one of the other guys too. Like it's really like pretty epic. It's so good.
That's cool.
That's kind of my favorite show to watch at night.
So they're entirely like independent, like get to subscribe just to their service.
Well, basically, it's this guy, Sam Reich, and he bought College Humor, which was
Oh,
that
okay.
website back in the day. So it's a lot of the actors and actresses from College Humor, and then they brought on some new people as well, and like
Okay.
spun off. And a whole bunch of the shows are Dungeons and Dragons themed. They have like a whole one like Dungeons and Drag Queens, where it's like one of the guys, Brennan, is like leading a whole campaign with a bunch of people who've never played before, who are also like Moonlight as drag queens, I guess. And like, yeah, there's just, they got so many insane shows on this. It's like a whole network now, basically.
That's cool.
But it's what, yeah, it used to be College Humor, so it's a lot of the same stuff.
Okay.
I used to love Jake and Amir. They've like spun off. They're not part of Dropout. They've kind of spun off and done their own thing. But I used to love Jake and Amir back in the day. It's so funny.
It's a throwback.
I think they started on College Humor. I'm pretty sure.
I think so too.
They're still doing it. They're doing a podcast now, or like a YouTube, where they're just like reviewing old episodes, kind of like live, the two of them now, and it's great. They look the same. They have the same sense of humor. Like it's kind of comforting to watch. It's great. Cool. I'm testing Xbox One controllers over here. I've perfected like pushing all the buttons so fast, but you can see if one of them's not pressing. This one was a weird one. Right on the D-pad was the button that's broken on this. I don't see that very often.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen any D-pad button not working.
Yeah, especially on an Xbox One. Like, who's using the D-pad on an Xbox One? Like, that's a weird. Like, if you were doing a lot of 2D games, pushing forward, I guess it would make sense. But like, there's just not a lot of 2D games on Xbox One that I know of. I guess there are a few. I guess like there's always the Microsoft Store. I think there's a lot of more 2D games on there. I've been playing the remake of my favorite video game of all time, Mario RPG. They like remade it last year, I think, or maybe a couple years ago for Switch. And I'm just getting around to playing it, and it's so fun. It's like the exact same game as my childhood, but like the music's higher quality, the graphics are a little better, but like literally like scene for scene, the exact same game. So it's pretty fun. But it's more like
the original one from
Super Nintendo.
It's called Mario RPG.
Yeah, it was the last game that Nintendo and Squaresoft, I believe, collaborated on. Yeah, so it's like legit RPG core made by Square, who did like the Final Fantasy games, but it's like Mario and Bowser and all these like other characters. Bowser ends up on your team. It's pretty fun. Like in the beginning of the game, his castle gets taken. He's like capturing the princesses always, but then his castle gets taken over. And he's like trying to make it, but his troops are getting smaller and smaller as the game goes on, until eventually it's just like sad Bowser all alone. And he still can't admit, but he pretends like he's inviting you to join his team, but actually you're inviting him to join yours, so you can like get his castle back. That's fun. The dialogue is just awesome. It's such it really holds up. The characters are so funny. Like the dialogue is really great. I mean, it's just like, it's lighthearted. It's kind of, you still got the RPG mechanics of like a Final Fantasy game, but just like less of the seriousness. Like it's a lot of humor. It's great.
That's nice.
Yeah, and you can end up, and Princess joins your team as well. So you can have Princess and Bowser. And then there's a couple of new characters as well. You get to choose your team of 3. It's really fun. And it had amazing graphics for the Super Nintendo. It almost looked 3D. It was kind of like isometric, but it looks great on the Super Nintendo from my memory. But again, I'm sure it probably wouldn't have held up if I actually went back, and then they remade it for the Switch, and everything's all shiny and the lighting effects are all there. It's so fun.
Man, dude, I have a Switch. I really wish I played that more. I literally, the only game I have for my Switch is Mario Super Strikers.
It's a fun one, but I can see how it get old.
The GameCube version. So
yeah,
I wanted to get.
Is it the same game, or is Super Strikers a sequel, or is it just like a remake of that game?
It's a sequel. It's just like how they make a different Mario Kart all the time. Yeah. Like it's technically it's a little different, but you know, same concept.
think the kids just came home and they closed the door on their own. That's so polite of them. They were out. I think they went out to go watch a movie. They were watching Despicable Me 4 today. Dude, the movies out here are so cheap.
A lot of mileage.
No kidding.
Franchise.
Yeah, but dude, there's that one song. I can't remember right now, but one of the songs is by Pharrell. He made the beat, and it is so freaking good. Pharrell is incredible. I was just reading one of my favorite childhood rap groups. It's these two brothers called Clips. Is like their rap duo. And one of the guys is named Pusha T, and he's had quite a rap career. And his brother No Mouse has too. But together they're Clips, and they haven't released an album in like 12 years. And all of a sudden they popped up on my YouTube, and I was like, I haven't heard about Clips. And literally they've released 2 singles, and then you scroll down on their YouTube, and it's been like 12 years since they released anything. And the new single, I was scrolling down, and it's a Pharrell beat, and like the beat is just impeccable. But somebody in the comments said that Pharrell charges $1 million for a beat to be a hip hop as a producer. Is that incredible? Yeah. But he's got so much recognition now that you say like produced by Pharrell, like you're gonna get some cred just from that. So it's incredible, man. Yeah. He's like a legend.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just young enough to not. It took me a long time to realize Pharrell was really like that. For a long time, he was just a guy that made that happy song.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how deep in music he was.
No, but then you start going on his Wikipedia, and it's like, yeah, you go all the way back to like Drop It Like It's Hot. He had that kind of like signature, kind of like empty, hollow beat. Like he made the beat for that song, and then like he's kind of started remaking some songs kind of with that beat, the kind of like echoey drip drop. I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah, he's just almost invented so many styles of hip hop, and like, yeah, he's produced so many amazing songs. Yeah, but yeah, Clips, 2 brothers from Virginia, dude. They can rap. It's incredible.
Yeah, I know a little bit of Pusha T. I didn't realize he's a little older than I thought he was. I don't know.
They look the same too. He's been around forever, man. Yeah. And he's done a couple of features on like Kanye songs in the last few years, and he's done some solo stuff too. And yeah, dude.
I didn't really know about him until he started beefing with Drake.
Oh, I didn't know he's had beef. I'm not that deep.
Oh my gosh, he kind of killed Drake. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, these days that might be aging pretty well.
Yeah,
like Kendrick Lamar's like entire Super Bowl song was just a Drake diss this year. Like, yeesh. That was cool to get in deep about that Super Bowl song. Like, I think he had like 2 or 3 of Drake's exes featured there. Like SZA was there, she opened, and then Serena Williams was like sea walking there, and like she's an ex as well. Like, he was just like showing her up. Like, they're all on my side now. Like, what's up?
Yeah, I gotta show this off. I love SZA so much. She's so good.
She is so good.
Real fan.
Oh, beautiful.
It's so cool. She's from St. Louis, so she's wearing a Blues jersey on this cover.
Okay.
I love this album is so good already, and she's wearing a Blues jersey.
That's awesome.
That is so far up my alley. Like, you're in my driveway. You cannot be any more in my alley.
That's so good. Wow, that is so good. I had no idea she's from Missouri. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Is there a big music scene in St. Louis? I guess there probably is. I just don't know a lot of musicians from St. Louis.
A little bit. So yeah, Nelly, Chingy, SZA.
Chingy, oh my god. Yeah. Chingy, is that Holiday Inn? Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't know why I know that, to be honest.
That's a deep
just
cut.
had like beef with Nelly at some point. I think that's how I mostly know him. What else do we have? It's like, I don't think Nicki Minaj is really from here, but I think she was born here. Like, that's a weird one. Eminem was born in Kansas City, not St. Louis, but he was born in Kansas City.
Got it.
I'm trying to think of other artists that are like actually from here. Smino, he's like a current rapper.
I don't know him.
He's all right. He's not super big, but I feel like I'm missing someone.
Wow, this is some deep
do you
cuts,
know
man. I'm
do you know
impressed.
Metro Boomin?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, Metro Boomin's from St. Louis.
Nice.
He went to my school district. I had a friend that went to his school. Like he's a little bit younger than Metro was, but he'd tell me like his teachers had like Metro Boomin sat in that chair right there. Like they were all like
Oh.
so passionate about Metro Boomin like being
And they're like in a
cool.
proud way, like they're proud of him.
Yeah, like they love
Oh,
him.
that's good. Oh, that's good. That's so cool. Dude, I was just watching some videos from Big X the Plug yesterday.
I love
in his latest
Big X,
video.
dude.
He's from Dallas here.
Yeah.
In his latest video, he's collabing with another guy who's kind of like hip hop country combo kind of a thing.
Is it Bailey Zimmerman?
I don't know. I need to look it up again. I'd never heard of him before. He's great. Yeah. And it's like the two of them in a car. There's a little skit in the beginning. And then the whole music video, they're on the bridge that's like right next to my parents' house coming into downtown Dallas. And somehow he has the whole thing blocked off in the middle of the day. I don't know how he pulled it off. The video just came out a couple days ago too. It has like hundreds of thousands of views already. And I'm like, how did like that bridge is packed? Like, I don't know what. I don't know if he just stopped traffic and he's like walking along the cars who are stopped as he's filming the music video. Like it's brilliant. Like it's so good. And then it gets meta. It's like his girl is watching him on the news in the music video, stopping traffic on the bridge. And then she's like, oh, he's doing this for me in the music video. Like the whole thing is so well done. Yeah, he's something else, man. I love it. He's got that Texas slang, but it's just like, I don't know. I love when I can like watch a musician and just feel like I'm absorbing their confidence or just like some of their essence. I'm like, I think I feel like them a little bit. The more I listen to his music, I want to feel like them. That guy's got something going on.
That's funny. Yeah, I have Big X shows up on my gym playlist a lot.
Yeah, he's great, man.
If it is the song with Bailey Zimmerman, he's not like actually from St. Louis. He's from like Southern Illinois, like an hour away from St. Louis, but he's a big Cardinals fan and he reps that a little bit. So he's like an honorary St. Louisan.
Cool. Okay, I love it. You got Missouri and Texas coming together. All right, let's see. Big X the Plug. Let's see what this new song is. I was only on it. Yeah. Okay, no, I see the Bailey Zimmerman one. I haven't listened to that one yet. His new one is called Home featuring Shabuzi. He's the new country guy he's doing a collab with. So good.
That must be a new single. I don't think I've heard that one.
Yeah, 4 days ago. Now it's up to 1.3 million views on YouTube.
Yeah. Shabuzi had a big hit.
Yeah, they're funny. They did a little skit together in the beginning. Like they're like about to go on like a boys like weekend out, and then all of a sudden he gets a message from his girl saying like, "Hey, come back! I want to work on us." And he's like, "Man, we got to turn around. So last exit before we hit downtown Dallas. I'm going back." He's like, "What?" It's so funny. And they sing a whole song on the bridge. Just I love it, and it's just like a few minutes from here, a few minutes from my house.
That's cool. I like that it's like a wholesome one.
Yeah, no, it's a fun message. It's good.
It's funny. My Marvel Rivals username is actually like a Big X the Plug. What is it called? Like something. It's based off of him.
Like a reference, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Man, these Xbox controllers do not age well. I think people also just use the crap out of them, but they just do not last very long. I'm at like
modern
4.
Controllers, dude.
What's that?
I said modern controllers, man.
Yeah.
Is the biggest issue you run into stick drift, or is it just buttons just entirely not working?
Yeah, joysticks. Usually some kind of joystick issue is going to be the majority of them. But it's just like there's just so many moving parts. Like there are so many things that can go wrong, like the gyro, and then like 15 or more different individual buttons, and just I feel like there's just so much that can go wrong.
Yeah, and it's just so easy to throw the controller when you're mad. It's so satisfying.
Yes, or they get dropped, and yeah, exactly. They're also like really being handled pretty roughly, and like nobody's putting cases on these things.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Man, I still got a lot of satisfaction out of updating the firmware on these things. don't know, just watching the progress bar go from like 0 to 100%. So good. I still can't believe you saved the news about your engagement for like 5 whole minutes. That was hilarious. Your poker face. I'm impressed. Like, oh no, nothing going on.
Yeah, nothing to report here.
All right, I got to see some of the songs Pharrell's produced. It's just he's done so many. Yeah, man. He's worked. Yeah, The Strokes, Shakira, Maroon 5, Madonna, like Jay-Z. Like this is just early in his career. Like I haven't even gotten to 2010 yet. Like that's incredible, man.
Was the Maroon 5 one? Was it just a couple songs, or was it like the full album?
Looks like he worked with something. He worked on their remix album. They had Maroon 5 had a remix album, so maybe not one of his bigger ones. Not one of their bigger ones.
Early Maroon 5, man. I think it's Songs About Jane. Good album.
Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, I remember singing like full on, like testing the limits of my high notes in the car, singing along to Maroon 5. Yeah. That's so good. Dude, it's so cool. What a career. I'm just like scrolling and scrolling. What an amazing dude. Yeah.
Music producers are like, it's so interesting how like the variety of artists and like different genres they can like write songs for or produce. It's so weird. Like Benny Blanco is the same way.
Yeah, I love watching him mix music online. That's so interesting, man. He's so talented.
Yeah, I think
he makes it seem accessible.
Yeah, I think there's some old video of him working with Mike Posner in his dorm room.
Yeah,
it's so interesting to watch, especially now after like seeing a good part of their careers play out. It's like you're just in some random college dorm doing this.
Yes. Oh, that's so cool. I love Mike Posner. He's so earnest. He's just so honest, man. I love that guy. I love this whole spiritual turn he's taken the last few years. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's very interesting, man.
I mean, it's sad. I think a lot of it is like born of like tragedy in his own life and just like perspective. But yeah, he's just like got so much wisdom and like really just seems on fire to share. I don't know if you've like watched any of his stuff lately, but he's just always like trying to spread positivity. Like just so clear.
Yeah, I tried his new album. Like none of the music resonated with me, but I still have so much respect for him.
Yeah, I like listening to him talk. Yeah, I'm more into his YouTube. Like I want to hear his perspective. Yeah, like he walked across the country at one point and I think got a snake bite. Had a horrible experience. Had to be like rushed to the hospital, and then eventually, I think he like had to relearn how to walk over the course of a couple months, and then drove himself back to the same spot where he got bit and continued his walk across the country once he figured out how to walk again. Love that. Yeah, walking across the country is something else. I definitely want to bike across the country, but walking, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I really want to walk the Camino de Santiago. Have you heard of that? It's in Spain. It's so cool. My sister's done it. A few other relatives have done it. And it's like this walk through kind of like the mountains and small villages of Spain. And it's like this historical walk that I think has been done for, I don't know, like hundreds of years. And basically it's set up where it's, 10 to 20 miles in between all these small towns. And there's kind of like this one time every year where all these towns are expecting you. So they're offering cheap hostels and there's like small restaurants where you can come get like a meal. And you're kind of like walking through all these like small towns in Spain. And it's like this really historical route. And it just seems like so. And you're like drinking homemade wine on people's farms.
Oh,
that just sounds
so
ideal.
Cool.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they like it. Like it's like a time of year where they're locals are really welcoming like outsiders and visitors to come walk and explore and yeah, you're just like out in the country and just it seems so cool.
That's very cool.
And there's all the gear. I love all the gear stuff. So you got to figure out your tent, your shoes, and your hiking poles and all that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start training with poles soon. It just seems like
Ooh.
that's the inevitability. Like a lot of the long distance runners are starting to run because they're just so light now. The carbon fiber trekking poles are like 12 ounces. So you hardly feel them. But when guys really get in a groove, they look like a spider. Like I've seen some like zoomed out photos of them, and it's like a 4-legged creature. I guess not like a spider, but just some kind of weird articulated limb, because you have these weird elbows as well. But like it really is beautiful, and not just going uphill, but a lot of guys are using it to just kind of distribute the weight of your steps away from your lower body, like into your shoulders and your upper body as well. Like kind of with each step, just take a little bit of that weight. And dude, I'm gonna start. I have some. I haven't really trained with them yet. Especially as I start looking at the longer races, and I really want to do rim to rim in the Grand Canyon one day, and that's gonna take a lot of training. Might be like when the kids are a little older. Well, it's essentially like, I think it's like 21 miles to go rim to rim. So from one side to the other. Some crazies try to do rim to rim to rim, which is double. That's like 42 miles. But rim to rim is like 21 miles, so a little bit under a marathon, but just obviously an insane amount of up and down and lack of water. The water stops are not super reliable, and heat, and you can be experiencing like extreme heat and snow all in the same day based on where you are. So it's a hard thing to plan for. So it's pretty intense, but it'd be a fun thing to train for. And I've seen so many videos. Heather used to work at the Grand Canyon, and she's always talked about it. I've always wanted to go. So
that's cool.
Yeah, she loved it there.
Have you ever looked into like this? I think are they ultramarathons? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah. Like, I signed up for one. I DNF'd.
Miles.
Yeah. I'm gonna sign up for one of these days. I'm gonna try it at least. I tried to do a 50K without much training, and I did not finish it. But I've done a few marathons, and like the itch is there. Like I'm gonna try it for sure. And that's kind of the same guys that think about doing rim to rim are kind of like the ultra marathons. Like you kind of have to be a little bit crazy like that. But that's like, I'm not super fast. I've learned, like, I'm not a sprinter, but I can just, as long as I manage my food and nutrition, I can just keep hauling. I can just keep a steady pace for a while. So I think the longer the race gets, I feel like the better off I'll be. But a lot of running is just learning your body, and it's like what's going to fail first, and staying on top of nutrition and hydration alone is like, even the pros have trouble with that. Like every day is kind of a unique challenge. Sometimes your stomach doesn't respond the right way. So much of it is just learning yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's cool, man. I just see it as like training for life, especially ultra running. It's just endurance. It's like staying on your feet, keep moving, and the challenges of life are only going to increase, and I'm always thinking about building up your capacity, now, because at a certain point you're only going to be going down. I forget that one of my buddies, he used to own a CrossFit gym back in Portland, but he used to talk about, you don't exactly know the decade that you're going to die in necessarily, but he's like, if you look at the trends, typically you're going to be a fraction of your maximum strength at that point. I forget what the actual ratio was, but his whole point of like starting this whole CrossFit gym, and they were like the least competitive CrossFit gym ever. That's why I loved joining them. They were like so supportive and so nice, and it really was about health and wellness. And he was just about build your capacity now while you're young, in your 30s and 40s and 50s, so that it is a nice graceful decline into old age, but it's going to be a graceful decline from a peak that you've built yourself up to. But like we're all like, it is a slow decline for everybody at a certain point. Like it's kind of hard to maintain or like increase fitness. You can, it just gets harder and harder, but at least to maintain or slow down the decline. So it's just like a strategic thing. But man, it'd be cool. So that's always been like my peak goal. I'm like, if I can ever get myself fit enough to do the rim to rim, that'll be like my peak. Like I think that'll be like mid 40s, and the kids are older. I can like wake up early every morning and train, and then I'll be able to like ride that out into my old age. That's my goal.
I didn't know this existed for so long. The way I found out, so I used to play a lot of indoor soccer. I haven't played in a little bit. I had an ankle injury, and I just haven't gone back since then. But It's like I'm so used to hockey. Like we're on for like 45 seconds, just going like to the wall, and we come back to the bench and we're off for like 2 or 3 minutes. So all these other guys, their endurance was much better. So I would always shift out a little fast. And there's like one day, I don't know what the deal was. Everyone was like so tired. And I was out there a lot longer than I'm used to. And I like went to the bench and someone like followed me to the bench. Like, yeah, I need to sit. I was like, okay. And it was like 3 times in a row. And I go to the bench again and someone else like followed me again. It was like, I was like, dude, no, it's like, I've been out here like the whole game and I've been short shifted every time. He's like, I can't. It's like, I need to sit down. And I was like, whatever. And then I found out later that guy that like short shifted me the last time does ultramarathons. I was like, you do
Dang.
ultramarathons and then you kicked me off the bench.
Well, I'll tell you what, like sprinting does not, I mean, like long distance does not transfer to sprinting. It does go the other way. But like you can, if you only train distance, if that guy only trains long runs, he can still get completely exhausted doing sprinting. I think it does go the other way. If you train sprinting, you will increase your capacity to do cardio as well. But it doesn't go the other way from what I've read. So you got to train that stuff. Maybe that's why he's doing soccer. Like maybe he hates sprinting, but he's like, when I play soccer, maybe I'll get at least some sprinting in. Then he's just like dying out there.
Yeah, I always looked at it like it's probably. It seemed like there's like a mental battle more than anything to do long distance stuff.
I think that's a component of it, but it is also a physical. Like if you cannot ignore hydration. Like you can ignore food and water up to what, like a 10K, maybe a half marathon if you're like really fit. But at a certain point, like that becomes a necessity. Like you have to be on top of that, and you can't start thinking about it when you get thirsty. If you're trying to run all day, you need to be getting on top of it early because you'll start falling behind real quick. So I think it's both. At a certain point, it's like it's all of it. And for me, it becomes about, it's not even about strength. It just becomes about whatever your weakness is, because it'll just start to exploit it. For me, whatever muscles are too tight, if I don't stretch something out, it can be as strong as I want, but it can start to cramp up if it's too tight. So for me, I often, like the night before a big event, especially, or just like all the time, I'm focusing on like keeping my muscles loose too, because I've realized when I push my limits, it's not my strength that gets tested. I happen to have enough capacity for strength usually, but it's just about finding out what's going to give out for you first. It's like, again, it's like a war of attrition. It's like you don't know what's going to lose first. But like there's so many physical, and it can be strength, it can be posture, and then there's the mental component too. Like sometimes I'm wanting to quit and I have to ask myself, and I go through in a checklist of like, is it actually my feet that are tired? Can I not take another step? Are my knees in so much pain? Like, are my legs so tired? And sometimes I go through the whole checklist and it's none of those, and I'm still really wanting to quit, and that's just pure mental. But sometimes, usually mental is like masquerading as something else. Like, so you have to kind of like eliminate everything else first. And then it's like the small voice, like, okay, I was just looking for an excuse. I guess you can keep going. Like once you eliminate all those, but a lot of it's just going through and making sure all the other stuff is taken care of. And it's just like all of it's so important. Blisters can take you down. Like after a certain distance, after on a half marathon, like it's so much repetition that every little thing, like if you're feeling a little bit of rubbing a couple of miles in, by the time you hit a half marathon, it's going to be really uncomfortable. And by the time it's a marathon, it's going to be bloody if you're not doing something about it. Like even the slightest bit of rubbing, like you really got to test that stuff out. So, dude, it's fun. It's a challenge.
Yeah, I think maybe I just feel like it's mostly a mental thing because that's what's always giving out for me first on runs. Like I always have to like tell myself, it's like I know for a fact if something was chasing me, I could keep going.
Yeah.
But here I keep trying to convince myself to like go back in early or something.
Dude, and that's where it's a good metaphor for life too. Because I find myself asking all the time, why am I doing this? On like half of the races, at least, maybe all of the long ones I've ever signed up for, at some point in the race, I'm like, why did I do this? I could have taken the weekend off. This, I paid money for this. I'm in pain. Like, and you have to like have a strong why. And it's like, but it's like doing hard work. Like again, if you're like trying to do eBay, like push yourself in a business, you're going to be asking yourself in those hard moments, like, why am I doing this? And like, you got to have a good answer for that, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
do you like my why is definitely just like health. And I read a study one time, and I don't even know where I read this, but essentially it was the idea that like when you look at a long-term retrospective of people who've done a lot of cardio exercise in their life, essentially for each minute that you spend doing cardio exercise, it can extend your lifespan up to 7 minutes. So it's like a 7-to-1 multiplier on your time. So when I'm running and I don't want to run for another 20 minutes, in my head I'm like, yeah, but that's getting me an extra 20 times 7 minutes with Heather at the end of my life, like tacked on. That's like some extra good moments. I'm like, I'm running for health. Like I think especially cardio, just like keeping your cardiovascular system healthy, and like your heart is a muscle, you know.
Yeah.
You got to train that. Like if you notice, especially if you're like you go, you know, for me it's going up a flight of stairs. And that's like the quickest indicator if I'm getting out of like cardio shape or not. If I can like sprint up a flight of 2 stairs and not be dying, because that's just like that's like your heart's got to like ramp up real quick. You got to get yourself some oxygen and like come back down. And if your heart's not used to it, you'll notice it, and you're like, and you're like struggling to get enough air, and that's just, it's a good indicator, man. It's like that's what we got to be doing. Like, we got to be moving. I think watching Wall-E really affected me growing up, about like trash and waste. I think that's part of why I'm so loving like the idea of selling used items like we do.
Yeah.
But then like also now like not wanting to be those people in Wall-E who are like not physical at all, you know, like that didn't look like, I mean, obviously that was the intention of the filmmakers, but I think I got it when I watched that movie. Like I get it.
Yeah. So I know you've been talking about AI recently, you know, with your talk with tech, and obviously everyone's interested to some degree. So there's always a lot of questions about it.
Yeah.
But, so what is your favorite use case for AI at the moment?
Yeah, my favorite right now is using it to list lots of items.
Mm-hmm.
So now, but before, if I'm going to sell a lot of 30 games, I would and I often sell a lot of 30 games for between like $30 and $50. They're just like bulk games that I can make more money than taking them to a GameStop, for example, but I'm still sending them in bulk to somebody. Well, I didn't used to want to take the time to write in the description the title of every single item. For a while, I was doing speech to text. So I would just click speech to text and literally just speak the title of every single game of all 30 games. So it would show up in the description. But now I can just take up that first picture of all the discs with the labels showing and upload it to ChatGPT and say, well, you generate a description for this that includes all the titles of the games and also a title for my eBay item as well while you're at it. And also go ahead and price it for me while you're at it. Like that is saving me a lot of like mental effort and also helping me eliminate the chance that maybe I'm missing 1 or 2 games that are higher value, because I'm also asking the AI to check the value of all those games real quick to make sure that they are all, you know, under $5 or $10, because that really means $1 or $2 plus shipping is what a lot of these bulk games are worth. So that's been a huge help for me.
Did you have like some big aha moment that led you to that? Like, can you remember if there's some chain events where you're like, oh, I should just do this? Like, were you trying to use AI unsuccessfully before this?
No, that particular example, another creator that I'd never seen before. I don't know if I'd be able to. I was going to pull up my notifications because he just went back and like 2 months later when I saw this initial idea, he had some video that was like a few ways to use AI for reselling. And this was one of the ideas, was taking a picture of all the video games with the spines showing. And that just unlocked a whole thing in my head of like having the AI take care of a whole bunch of games at once for me and like saving me the brain power. So I've just been kind of like using that idea and applying it to my own listings, like the bulk listings. But I'll have to find that guy. Maybe I'll make a post on YouTube and I'll get back to you. But I forget. I don't think he makes videos that frequently, but it was a really great video. And he kind of got me thinking about it. But I'm continually getting my mind blown about how to use AI. I feel like this is like the beginning of Google, where like the only limit to my understanding is just like figuring out how to formulate the right Google search. And I felt like I couldn't even conceptualize all the different things that I could Google until eventually I'd like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't even fully understand the power. And I feel like that's the same thing with AI. Like I don't even know fully how to use it yet. So but right now I'm mostly looking for time savers. And so that's been a good time saver for me. I think the AI listing apps are probably a time saver if you're listing on the desktop. But for me, like listing from the phone it's probably still a little bit faster. But the more AI features I can get into my mobile listing system, the better. Like I love the AI description on the eBay app. I think it's been generally pretty good. Now, there's some weaknesses to it, but it's fine.
Yeah. I think I'd mostly be wanting to use it like a time saver as well. It's like doing something that can increase my output where I don't have to like rely on it to do any of like the heavy like intellectual lifting, so to say. Because I still don't trust it. You know, there's obviously sometimes you just make stuff up for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It really does. Yeah.
So I've been trying to like figure out how I can use it, and I was messing around with it the other day. So there was like some quote that like really hit me hard. It was from Peg talking about like spending time in an entrepreneurial driver's seat. I might come back to that, but it's like I was trying to think like what can I do that's like outside of the box of what I'm doing right now. I'm thinking of like, okay, obviously I can be like trying to buy directly from people or like trying to like build a connection. It's like step one to doing either of those things is to understand what I'm looking for. And like I was trying to like approach myself from the outside, like, okay, tell me like what things you want. And I was like, it's like I know it when it shows up in front of me at the thrift, but like I don't know what to say to people for like exactly what I'm looking for. It was really hard for me to communicate that. So
Yeah.
I was trying to use AI to help me like figure that part out. And what I tried to do at first was like I gave it my store link, and I was like, can you tell me like what like clothing brands like show up in the store and tell me how frequently each one shows up? And then like it gave me the short list that was completely wrong. Like it told me I had like 10 Puma items. It told me that Puma was one of my top brands. I was like, is it really? And then I looked at my store and I was completely wrong. I had like 2 Puma items at that time.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
But what did hit me after that is I haven't got around to doing this. I think I can generate like a sales report. I think eBay has some sales report thing, or maybe it's a listings report where it like converts it into an Excel sheet and it has all your title, like all the title names. So I think if I gave it that instead, it'd be more accurate. It's like I don't know where it pulled the other information from. I don't know how that happened.
So what kind of information do you think you would get from that would be a game changer? Like, I guess the reason I'm asking, like, so John Flippin' Ain't Easy, he did something very similar experiment recently on his YouTube channel where I think he did upload that full information to one of the AIs and had to give him some business advice. And overall, he seemed pretty disappointed because it was just like, work on better titles, work on accurate descriptions, make sure you're like at the end of the day, it's just the fundamentals. Like he's already been preaching for years. Of course he knows that. And I think it's right though. Like, I don't think there's going to be any secret sauce where it's going to be like, I don't know, but maybe specifically about sourcing. If you were like really granular about take all of this data and help me if there are any details about, are there any specific spots where I get a lot of one brand where I can focus on, like that might be a little bit more useful, but I don't know if it's going to have like general business advice in a way that wouldn't just be generic. But and like I'm continually surprised by its capabilities. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm mostly looking for like, I guess, hard numbers about like I would love to know like exactly how many of, like how many Nike pieces are in my store. Which I guess that part you can figure out easily, but to have it like tell me every brand I have and how many times I have it listed versus like, and then like if it can also compare like the sell through, the 90-day sell through, that'd be awesome. It's like
that would be such a killer
which ones
feature.
are selling more. Yeah, and like I was telling Jasmine about that. She's like, doesn't eBay have that? I was like, I don't think so, but they should.
The thing is they do, but it's hidden behind reports. And where you're blowing my mind is if eBay replaced that or just added a new tab where it's like, ask our AI about your store And so instead of having to generate a new report on brands and then like sort on the Excel spreadsheet by brand, that would be an awesome feature for eBay to implement. But it would have to be them to do it, unless you want to try to export all that data. Like I think John was trying to do. I think that might be the better way to do it at this point. But like if eBay could just add a tab of like ask our AI about insights, like what's the best selling brand in my store? What do I have the most of? Like what's the average sales price of Nikes over the last 90 days that I've sold? And it'll be able to go through and generate its own little micro report and just, but it being more conversational would be so much better than having to generate the Excel spreadsheets. It's just like, I want to have the computers look through the sheets and just give me that one bit of data that I actually care about.
Yeah. Like, do you remember they have, I don't know if they still have it. I'd never really messed around with it. They had something called the Sourcing Insights tool. Are you familiar with that?
No, I've never heard of that.
I'm trying to find that now. Cause like, that's like,
cool.
That sounds like that's exactly what that should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tell me what to source more of, like what sells well, what never gets returned. Like all that data is in eBay.
That'd be so nice. What category do I sell with the lowest return rates?
Yeah, yeah. Is it called the Sourcing Insights? Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I'm wondering if they did away with it when they switched Terapeak to just whatever it's called now, product research, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Actually, this might look useful. That's cool. So I'm clicked into it now in like the homepage for it, I guess. Let's see. It's like it says active versus shorts, great opportunities. Search volume 286,000, active listings 320,000, search to listing ratio, and then sell through rate 8.26%.
Okay.
It's like it's telling me like categories it thinks like, you know, or like high demand, I guess.
Gotcha. But that's like overall eBay. They're pulling data from just like overall sales data, not exactly specific to your store.
Right.
Cool. Sourcing Insights. All right. Cool, man. I'm going to click into that. I've never actually seen that. Interesting. Yeah, it's cool. And it's like all my categories are totally like customized to my store. It's DJ controllers, graphics and video cards, doorbells, memory cards, all that stuff. Power tool batteries.
The coolest thing I'm seeing so far is like when I clicked into a category, it's telling me like how the click-through rate like trends throughout the year. It's like shorts, you can see like the obvious dip as it gets cold weather, like it's lowest in December and then it starts creeping up after December.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm looking at something similar for video game consoles. I've never seen this. It's so interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Sourcing Insights. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a bump in, you know, around December, like you'd expect in January.
Yeah.
Oh. That's so cool.
Right. I've been chugging this energy drink, so I'm gonna go take a watering break. I'll be back in a second. I have a question when I get back.
Ooh, all right. Keep me in suspense. For those of you that are still here, I did just enable YouTube memberships for anybody looking for more customized email support on eBay and stuff like that. So feel free to check out my YouTube channel and the memberships tab if you're interested. The idea is that we'll be starting monthly mentoring calls or kind of a mastermind call pretty soon. We just had our first member join, so we still are very new. And then we'll be doing, and as well as just customized email support, where I'd love to offer you my advice if you want. So please do check out the memberships tab. As I continue to test these Xbox controllers, I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but these Xbox Elite controllers have aged like milk. These things never last. The joysticks are always bad on them. Like I don't think I've ever gotten an Elite controller that was still in good condition, ever. These ones, at least the Xbox Series controllers, seem to have a little bit better build quality here. This is actually my favorite controller of all time. Just the standard Xbox Series X or S controller. The ones with like a little bit of a fancier D-pad here. That's how you can tell the difference quickly between the series ones and the Xbox One edition. And I'm testing these like a maniac over here. I probably tested like 50 controllers so far. What up? Just getting deep on controllers over here.
Yeah, you said you're at 50 or so.
I've probably tested 50,
take.
but only like I would guess 10 working and 40 broken so far. It's not a good ratio. Probably about what I'd expect. But yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
They're yeah, and I try to always update the firmware and stuff. But I was just saying the Xbox Series controller, this one with like a little bit of a fancier D-pad over here, is my favorite controller of all time by far. Like, do you have a favorite controller of all time?
Ooh.
Just one that fits your hands just right.
It definitely doesn't fit the hands just right, but I love the look of the Nintendo 64 controller.
Oh my gosh.
I
Out of left field.
Cool. I don't know. I know. I just love the transparent cases for them too.
Oh yes, those were cool. Like the transparent green, the transparent purple.
I think the purple's my favorite.
Yeah,
I love that one. What is that? It's like atomic purple. Is that right?
Yeah.
I do like. I think it's the Xbox Elite ones with like the paddles on the back. There's like some metal components. Those, nice. I think I've only had those in a couple times ever. But
I was just talking about these. Here's one of them. This is the older Elite. This is the Series 1 Elite controller. But I found these things, they're supposed to be interchangeable, but they just end up popping off always. And they get damaged so quick. But they are cool. They're heavier. They're really cool. The Elite controllers are great. Yeah, I just find that they always break. I've tried keeping a couple of them, but I always come back to just the standard Xbox controllers. They're just like bulletproof. A couple AA batteries in there, and it'll last you all year. They're awesome.
I've been a lifelong Sony loyalist, so having a good controller has not really been a thing. Not been a luxury for my side. I feel like the Sony controllers they're always uglier and less comfortable than the Xbox ones.
Yeah. I mean, they kept the same shape for PS1, PS2, PS3, and it was decent, but not the most ergonomic at all. As Xbox was just so much more rounded. Yeah.
Not a fan. I did like the Xbox 360 triggers compared to the PlayStation 3 ones.
Yeah. I think the 360 controller was like the prototype that kind of everybody has copied since then. Like they just kind of nailed the design. And now pretty much everything's converging back to a 360 controller. Like the Switch Pro controller looks really similar now. And like, I don't know, PlayStation's still kind of doing its own thing. But the PS5 controller is decent. It's a little slippery for me. I feel like it's going to like pop out of my hands. But all right.
Yeah, PlayStation 5, like out of, let's see, I've literally had PlayStations 1 through 5. Obviously, that's my favorite controller. Like, I wasn't a fan of I guess the 4 wasn't as bad as the 3, but I don't know. I didn't love it. It just looked kind of weird. Like, I didn't like the actual like grip part. I don't know. It just felt wrong.
And it was weird. Yeah.
The joysticks like were always going bad. The stick drift was horrible.
It is definitely a thing, and it is fixable. I just don't want to take the time to do it because you really have to take them apart. The old school ones, you could kind of stick them to the side, and you just need to get some contact cleaner solution. So I think the way a lot of these work is there's like a bowl, and then basically on the other side of your joystick is like a metal brush with like some copper wires. And so it's kind of like brushing along the inside of this bowl, and like that's kind of how the signal. And you kind of need to clean out that area, but usually it's a lot more well sealed. So you need to get some like contact cleaner in there, but these days you got to take them all the way apart. I've seen the videos and I'm like, that's not worth it for $15. I'm just gonna sell it for parts and move on. Did you say you have a question?
So, more thinking I was doing the other day, also prompted by this like the entrepreneurial driver's seat thing I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out like what times have I been in that driver's seat, and it was like hardly never. In my head, I was like, I feel like the closest thing you could say was like when I was doing like product research. Like I would just cut out time where like I wasn't listing or anything. I was just on eBay just looking up like random things and like finding like new bolos to look for like on my own time. But then, like, I wondered in my head, I was like, do you do like any research, or is it just like you just get stuff in and you just look it up when you have it? Are you looking out ahead for anything?
Yeah, constantly. I'm constantly like checking in with suppliers, like, hey, got anything else, or like checking in the different sites that I bought on before, or yeah, constantly. Yeah, so that is my kind of like searching. It's just like reaching out and like trying to see. I think right now we've only got 1 or 2 deliveries in process, and that's a little bit light. So I'm starting to get like, oh, I mean, I got plenty of inventory here in the garage, but still, I'd like to have a few deals coming too at any given time. So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of trying to reach out, see where the junk is at. Yeah, it's just yeah.
Do you have like a grail list of like things you're hoping you find that you've like never found before?
Ooh, that I've never found before. Let me see.
So I was just watching. Do you watch Ready Set Resell?
Yeah, he's great. Great vibes from that guy. Yeah,
like he just posted earlier today, and I didn't even like realize what the title was. I just clicked on the video, and he's sitting there digging through these plushes, and he's like, "Oh, Patagonia plush." And I like instantly like locked in on the screen. I was like, "What?" And like Patagonia back in the 90s, I think it was late 90s, they would give out these like plush toys to like kids of customers. It's like you couldn't buy them, so like they're kind of rare. And there's a turtle. I even covered this in a video one time, but there's a plush turtle, and I guess it's worth like $600, I think. I can't remember the exact values I saw, but his title said $600 plush, so I'm guessing it was $600. But
whoa,
dude, it's like that's any Patagonia plush. Like there's different animals you can find. Like I don't even need the turtle. I'll take any of them. Like that's on my list. I think they're so cool. And he's just like, oh, cool, Patagonia plush. Like you could tell he didn't realize how much it was worth when he first grabbed it.
Yeah. Wow, that's insane. Is it made out of like the same like a fleece material, like a one of their jackets or something? Or
yeah, it looks like the chinchilla fleece. And it's like
that's
they
exactly
have
what I was
patterns
thinking.
on them. Yeah.
Yeah,
very
so
cool items.
That I love that chinchilla fabric. That'd be like the perfect thing for a plush. That's so cool.
Yeah, like it's the perfect piece for like a vintage store to have like on display. I bet you that's where they all end up going, dude.
Interesting. Or just like collectors in Thailand or Japan or something.
Yeah, too. Freaking Japanese collectors, man.
I into that stuff.
Up all the good stuff.
Yeah, man. I like these controllers, these Scuf controllers. Scuf is an interesting company. If you see this S, if you ever see a controller with this little S emblem here, the little S, that'll be a controller. That'll even for parts, it'll be $40 at least, probably, even if they're broken. Because they take these like original controllers and they take them apart and they fill it up with a bunch of nerdy stuff on the inside. But they're still like they have at the brain of them, it's like a genuine Microsoft or a Sony controller, so it still is like 100% compatible and stuff.
Yeah,
and the nerds love that stuff.
Yeah, I found a Scuf. It was a wired 360 controller a couple of years ago at a garage sale for like $2, and even being that old, it still sold for like $60, I think.
Yeah, I believe it. That's awesome. Yeah, they're cool too. Sometimes they have like over the top designs, like metallic gold and stuff.
Yeah,
they can be kind of customized. Like they're really fun. There's a whole YouTube channel that's devoted just to these like rebuilt controllers for like PS5 and Xbox, where these controllers can get up to like $300 or $400 or $500 sometimes. You can like get them custom with like just the joysticks you like and just the design you want, and they'll like rebuild it for you, but still with a core. Yeah, it's so
better
expensive.
Come with aimbot for that price. If I'm not going pro after that, I'm returning.
Well, I think that's like the top. Like it really doesn't get much more expensive than that. And like if you are one of those gamers who's like 12 hours a day holding the same controller, like you want it to be perfect for you, but
yeah, like it's a lot of money. Streamer.
Yeah, man.
I guess with esports on the rise, you can justify it. Like instead of being like a hockey player buying a stick or like a baseball player buying a bat, it's like, I gotta get a controller.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like the hype around esports has died down just a bit. I wonder if it ever is going to be like recognized in the same way as the other sports, like on television and all that.
Yeah, I wonder. I think it'd be so cool. Like what I understand is like there's having so much trouble like making it a profitable thing. Like I guess people aren't investing in it as much anymore.
I wonder if it's like a chicken and egg thing. Like maybe people aren't investing in it because like the viewership just isn't quite there. Like they're not getting mainstream America. Like they're getting people on Twitch still, but people want like the big money, like a professional team. Because some people were pouring some crazy money into esports teams as if they were like professional sports teams.
Yeah.
But like I don't know where are they generating the revenue? Like I'm not seeing that many esports jerseys. I know they make merch just like a normal sports team, but there's not that many out there. You know what I mean? And like I wonder what's the profit? Like what's the goal here? I don't know. Like they're not selling out arenas. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it would just be like getting sponsored by other companies.
Yeah, I don't know.
I used to watch so much Hearthstone streaming and esports events. I love it. It's still a competitive game, but like it's a perfect esports game because it's a card game and it's turn-based and there's plenty of time for like people to talk, either commentators or if you're watching a streamer, for the streamer to talk. Gosh, I love that game. It's so good. Do you ever watch streams of Marvel Legends? Like, do you get into that stuff?
I haven't in a minute. I don't watch a lot of like gaming streams, but I will watch like YouTube content on it. But usually, I don't watch a lot for entertainment. If I'm watching like just gameplay, just for the fun of it, I'm usually watching someone that's not actually that good. I'll watch like the good players if I'm trying to like learn something about like a specific character or something. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the only like Rivals gameplay that I'll watch is one guy that like he gained popularity for just making like little Instagram like sketches about just anything. Like he just happens to like gaming, so he streams games and stuff. And he thinks he's so much better at Rivals than he really is. It's like a train wreck you just can't look away from.
Oh, that's fun.
Makes you feel better about your own gameplay watching him play.
Like if he can have fun at that skill level, yeah, right. That's fun. It's funny. This is a first. My wife dropped off my oldest son, so I was just taking my text earlier on, so it was just my son that came home. So I'm gonna go check on him in a minute, actually make sure he's okay, because she just dropped him off, and she's gonna go do some more stuff with the rest of the kids, but. Not that he's like home alone, but he's like semi-home alone right now. So as I'm talking now, I'll be back in like 1 minute, but I'm gonna go check on him real quick.
Okay.
I still keep my microphone on anyway. Hey, Sammy. Sam, what? You doing good?
Yeah, I wrote my bed.
Oh, thank you, bud. Hey, will you close the front door?
Sure.
Thank you, big guy. I'll come check in on you. Great. All right, I'm doing a podcast with Ethan, so I'll come down in a little while, okay? Oh, great. Hilarious. I was checking on him just as the rest of the family was getting home, so it's perfect timing.
Oh, nice.
That's great. But the front door was wide open. So, win some, you lose some. He's 8. He's working on it. I think 8 is around the same time that I started staying home alone for the first time, but it was a different time. That was the 90s. That was a different time.
I'm getting so much of this just the unexciting listings done today. Just all stuff that's been sitting in the bottom of my drawers.
I'm doing the same thing. I've been collecting these Xbox controllers for months. And I've got 3 full bins, and I'm like, all right, I gotta do. I don't want to start another bin of just because I'm like completely sold out. I've been doing other things. I'm like, all right, just today is Xbox Day. Maybe the next few days, depending on how long this takes.
Man, like, is that hit rate normal? Like, how many are not working?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
that is
for
rough.
sure.
How much
I mean,
do you
yeah,
sell
you know.
the broken ones for?
I think I sell them in a lot, and probably around like 10 or 15 each. So like a lot of 20 will be like $300 maybe, or $200.
Holy cow. Okay. Well, I don't hate it as much anymore.
Yeah, especially by the hour when I've got this many. And sometimes when I'm feeling lazy, I'm almost happier because I can list 20 broken ones at once in a single photo, or single set of photos. But the other ones, I gotta like clean them and like take a picture of each one sometimes. It's just I chomp through, so my profit per hour might even be a little higher on the broken ones, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe I'm just lazy. I'd say the numbers have definitely improved. I'd say we're up to about 15 and 50 now.
There we go.
Not too bad. This is the last one out of this bin, so 2 bins left. We just watched the Minecraft movie again a couple nights ago with my dad. It's so good. I was just thinking,
I wanted to watch it. No one would go watch it with me.
It's great, man. I mean, you can't expect much. I was expecting very little, and I was pleasantly surprised that it was like a decent movie. There are a couple funny lines. Like Jason Momoa is great. Nobody's taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah. The Barbie movie came out. Then it was okay for everyone to go watch this. Like, probably, I guess that was not targeted like solely to children, but
no, Barbie movie was a work of. No, Barbie movie was a work of art. Man, it's incredible.
I loved the Barbie movie. I thought everyone was going to look at the Minecraft movie the same way, and I was all excited, and no one wanted to
go. Well, there's no deep message at the middle, at the heart of Minecraft. I mean, I would say, actually, I take it back. I think there is a really subtle message to the gamers, where it's something about like, at the very end, I don't want to spoil too much, but at the end of the movie, they're encouraging people to like bring their magic to the real world. They're like, you have to be brave, to take the creativity from the Minecraft world and like bring it to the real world. But that kind of was like, I think kind of like the heart of the movie is like, share your stuff with even with the bigger world. Like, don't be afraid, like start in Minecraft maybe, then creating is the thing. But at a certain point, it's like, maybe you're going to come to the real world. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I've been catching up on all the podcasts and stuff you've been jumping on.
Yeah.
I was watching the Profit Playbook one. I don't remember which of the episodes it was, but one of them, I think it was John, said something. I think he said, "You make your money when you buy," and you push back on that. And I was so proud of you.
Yeah, I don't know. I found myself in the minority on that, but I think a couple of people in the comments have agreed. It's just, I think it depends. It's actually interesting. When I was talking to Pegasus Lounge about it, he actually really clarified it for me, because he's talked a lot about that, making money on the buy. But in his line of business with Pegasus, he's got an entire supply chain already established. Like, he already knows the buyer, and often it's just about, maybe I can find a cheaper part to plug into my pipeline, but he's already got the Amazon listing and all that. And if I can just find a factory to sell it to me for 144 at a cheaper price per unit, but he's already done the work. When you're doing that business, it's not like you can just go randomly buy a pallet of something from AliExpress and make money off of it, unless you've already put in that work, and then you kind of are making money on the buy. And that's what he was saying, is like, it's more common in that kind of business to hear you make money on the buy, because you've already established the kind of supply chains, and you're just like looking for one more new supplier, maybe one more new product variation, but all the rest of it's already been established. So, but yeah, with reselling, finding customers is way harder. Like, we don't have a customer always yet. I guess it depends. And I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
Okay, I don't think inherently it's like a bad saying, but the thing I don't like about it is if someone is like very new to the reselling space and they come in, they just hear something like that. Like that's potentially like a dangerous thing to say to someone that they haven't developed. Like I don't know, like they're just not sure what they're doing yet. Like okay, buying, I need to be buying so I can make money.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I think it's just dangerous advice potentially.
That is really because that is where a lot of early resellers get in trouble is bad buys or too many buys or just like getting buried under a bunch of stuff and now you don't even really want to list. But it's hard to imagine how much of a pain something's going to be to list in the beginning. But you do get a lot of thrill in the purchase and you're imagining the money you can make on the other side. But to like it takes a while for me. It took experience to realize like I just hate listing this whole category of items. Like and I'm dreading it or I'm avoiding it. And that's the kind of stuff you just can't be buying in the future. Yeah, it's so I think especially for beginners. Yeah, I can see that being. Yeah, it's just there's plenty of people that will sell you junk. It's hard to turn that back into money a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I do feel like I still buy junk. I'm just like I'm a little bit selective, but also I've just gotten really good at figuring out people who want to buy my junk, I guess. That's kind of like all of our jobs. Dude, I got a whole bunch of podcasts lined up the next few days. I'm stoked.
Oh yeah. You're gonna
Tomorrow,
have to start a Google Calendar pretty soon here.
Oh gosh, dude, for an introvert like me, it's like a lot. I have to keep. I can't schedule myself for more than like one a day because I just like. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm doing Chase from Heroic Hustle. I don't know if you've seen his YouTube channel, but man, he's super interesting. He focuses on like reclaimed inventory and like overstock inventory. So he's got a whole website called Chase Surplus, and he focuses on like HVAC and plumbing parts and electrical panels and stuff. And and basically what he does is he reaches out, I assume, to these like plumbing supply companies that are like these boring companies. Like when I used to work on like electrical supply and stuff, sometimes you like have to show up to these stores that really only cater to other electricians, but they have all the parts and like you're showing up just to get that one random part. Well, they've got a bunch of random parts in the back. So what Chase does is he takes all of their excess inventory, the stuff that hasn't sold, he takes it for free and then he offers 50% consignment. So he's like, all the stuff that you guys don't have room for anymore, just throw it in. Let me throw it in my warehouse. He lists it on eBay, and then he just does it for. So he's getting warehouses full of inventory for free, essentially, on 50% consignment. So the model is so interesting. So his website is set up where it just shows like a random item from his store that's for sale. And when I was on his website the other day, the one random item that was listed for sale was some obscure commercial electrical panel, and the retail price was like $72,000, and he was selling it for like $22,000 or something like that. And again, so this is like a 50% commission, but like this is the kind of items he's selling. It's just like, and that was just an overstock item that he got for free. Essentially, like that, I assume like that's his business model. Is like, he's essentially offering to store their inventory as well as trying to sell it and just give them money in form of payouts. Like, it's like a form of consignment that really makes sense because you can scale it up. With these businesses that just are going to have overstock, they need to make room for the new parts and they're just like, yeah, I'll give this to you for free. And you can just send me a check at the end of the month if any of it sells and you do all the work. And he's like, I'm getting all this inventory for free. It's so interesting.
That's nice.
He's a young guy, man. He's like 21 or something, and he's really thinking big.
It's like he does. I assume he'd have a lot of costs related to storage, like getting warehouse space big enough. But he gets to completely eliminate that inventory cost, really. Yeah,
and actually, he's really smart. He's not in a warehouse. He's in an RV storage facility. And he's just got like lights, so it was like way cheaper than like a commercial warehouse. He's just in like RV storage. So yeah, he's a smart dude. And then what else do I have? I think Friday, Pegasus Lounge and I are gonna chat. He's got some questions for me. I think he's gonna do a video.
I noticed which video? I don't know. I was just watching a video and he mentioned like he like designed this thing for you and like he like sent it to you and you hadn't like responded. So I was like, oh, we're in contact.
Oh yeah, in fact, we talked for like an hour and a half the other day, just like on his Discord, just like on an audio channel. We just chatted and like I think he wants to do a video, but I also kind of, he did let me know he was going to feature me in a video. And I just pushed back a little bit on like, don't make me the model. Because I don't know how replicatable this is to like spend 60 hours a day or 60 hours a week dealing with cables like I'm doing. Like, I don't know. Like he was saying like, I think this could be the solution for resellers to like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think it's a solution for me. And I think there's stuff to be gleaned out of it. And he is right. He's like, you know, do you know you have the #1 listing for Wii remotes on all of eBay? He's like, when you search it, it's like sponsored listings and then yours. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. So he's like, really, he's so good at like looking at the business principles of that stuff. So I appreciate that kind of like insight, but I don't know, like, but also at the same time, like he is in that mindset of like trying to pull out the principles, but I don't know if I'm like the model necessarily, but I'm happy to like share the journey as I've been doing here. But yeah, I did want to be like, I'm not like the prototype for like the new. This is just like I don't know. I don't think most people are gonna buy all this equipment that I have and like are willing to like repair like 100 different random electronics to make it worth it for your time. And I don't know. It's not for everybody.
Yeah, like he obviously knows so much, and I've actually been coming around. I've got a lot of very helpful information, especially if you're deeper into like the business side of selling. Like I don't like when people are like, there's a right way to do this. There's so many, you can do so many different things. There's so many different ways. There's people that make an entire income off of selling like just like vintage like military uniforms. Like there's just so many different things you can do. You can become the best person at something that's so niche. There's so many literally infinite possibilities. You can just use your brain and build whatever you want to build. I understand you shouldn't go telling like masses of people this because not everyone can be successful like that, but
yeah, it's interesting hearing his back. Like he comes from an entire family basically of people who design private label products. So I think from his perspective, what he's seeing is all these people who are like saying like, oh, look at this amazing one-off item that I got from a thrift store. And he's like, that was the item that my relatives are buying and selling by the thousands. And it's the same thing. And that's to say like, look for more of this exact single one-off bolo item. I can see when his entire, like, I think both sides of his family are like all involved in like the importing business and like finding products, developing products, like figuring out your niche and then figuring out like a repeatable pipeline from the factory where, and I think what we were talking about a little bit is like, where I see it is, I think that there are different business pipelines to get into, right? Like I'm really passionate about the recycling of used stuff. So I wanted to turn this business into a business by like trying to get in the pipeline of like, where's the used stuff in my area? And but you know, taking that same example when he was talking about like the ink cartridges, like his first, because I think that's where his framework is based out of it. Like I think it just helps so much to kind of understand where he's coming from. Was like he would have been looking for, how do I develop a relationship from a factory direct? Because that's how you're going to get the cheapest price and certainly the most repeatable inventory, right? Like I think one of his main problems with the reselling scene in general is just like you like trying to, you know, hoping to find stuff at a thrift store is a hard business model to replicate. You either have to be like uniquely skilled or you have to be just a maniac about going to so many thrift stores. But especially if you're talking about it full time, I think he's always been from a business perspective. And I think that's where there's some clashing as well, because not all resellers are even talking about doing eBay as a full-time job. So I think his stuff doesn't even really apply to them, right? Like a lot of people are just seeing it as a side hustle, but to see it like a business, I think there's some value. But again, I think you're right. Like you can make businesses anywhere. And I think in the beginning, it seemed a little bit more like he was saying the only way would be to establish a pipeline with a factory. But I think there's a lot of ways to establish business relationships. You know, like Tech and Sports has his one way that he teaches, which is like go to flea markets and make connections. You know, that's kind of like, because that was his framework to go from just somebody who's picking individual items to like a real business, is when he started getting suppliers to start calling him, because he was like, I'm consistent, I'll pay you. Why don't you set aside all the Lululemon and the Patagonia for me, and I'll pay you $7 a piece. And I think that's essentially what he does for all these vendors. So like that's kind of what he teaches. And then Pegasus Lounge is coming in with this other framework. And I think maybe I've got a little bit of a different one of like call the businesses who maybe have excess inventory, and Chase is a little bit more like that of like call the businesses that have excess inventory and like I'll take all of it for free. Like his pitch is just so interesting to me because there's like the barrier to entry is so low and the amount of money that can be made is so high. Like a single item that could sell for $22,000 on eBay is just insane.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of ways to start thinking about it like a more repeatable business. But yeah, I'm so hesitant to say like this is the answer because things change so fast. Who knows what AI is? And like to think that somebody might have quit their job based on my advice, and now
dude,
our jobs might not even exist in a year. Like this might have been fully automated. Like things are changing quicker and quicker. Like I would not recommend anybody get into this necessarily. Like I love it, but no, I don't know. I'm not depending on this to stay the same for sure. I don't know if you can. It's hard, man. That's where it's just like it's important to like save money as you go. It's like one of the main lessons that I didn't really do in the first business. We got lucky in that our form of savings that kind of carried us through into the eBay business from the restaurant was just the fact that we got a house that like increased in value a little bit. And so like it was almost like the mortgage was just like our forced savings account. And at least we were putting a little bit of money away, and that was able to come back in some form of equity a little bit. But it's just so important. Like the money like in a diversified portfolio, like that's where the stability is. Like not in the job, like none of the jobs, right? Like whether you have a boss or you don't, it's just not that's just the way I see it. I don't see this as a stable job at all.
No, especially like the way I do it, especially like not really having control over my inventory as much. Yeah, that can be scary. Like if the Goodwills just put out a memo, like, okay, set aside all of these brands, do not put these on the floor, it becomes so much harder, like overnight.
Yeah. That's where even in my, it is. And even most resellers, including me, I am at least one more step removed from the inventory than somebody like Mason, like Pegasus Lounge, in the best case scenario where even if his factory said no more or I'm doubling the prices, he has still established that pipeline, and you're able to just go to a different factory maybe or like find a different supplier for your product, but you still do have that kind of like market demand. Whereas as a reseller like me, that's what I do worry about sometimes, where what if all of my vendors are all of a sudden like, sorry, we're not selling to you anymore. Somebody else offered me 3 times as much. Some Silicon Valley startup decided to buy all of our stuff. So like I am like, it's not mine until I buy it, right? Whereas if you can actually establish a product line, it is yours. And even if they take it away from you, you can just like establish a different source, but the pipeline is still there. Your customers are still going to be expecting a product, and you just have to be able to, figure out somebody else to make it to a similar quality standard. So,
dude, that is one thing I'm very interested in. And as I've begun to like Mason more and more, I've been trying to like get into a wider variety of his videos. One thing I haven't gotten to yet, the thing that I'm really interested in is like developing your own product. Like when I was a kid, what was that?
Someone's at the front door.
It's our doorbell. Somebody made it like birthday party themed. It's so stressful.
I thought it was someone's birthday.
Golly, it's so stressful every time.
If you're watching this and it's your birthday today, let us know. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. I'm just checking the camera. I know the family's home, but I'm just checking my front door camera here. Make sure we're all good. Yeah, cool. All good. Actually, that is our mail person.
Ooh, you gotta put out deliveries.
That may take me a minute. Maybe I'll end this recording, and then if I come back and I can still work, but I'm gonna go check and make sure she's okay. She's beeping at me, so I'll be back. Thanks, bro.